Hey y'all, it's Victoria. I'm back with day 2 of Thriftmas. That is 12 days that I'm going thrifting at different thrift stores. So I'm excited to take you along with me. Today we're heading to Ocean Springs, Mississippi, just across the bridge from me. We're going to go to the America's Thrift Store, which I haven't been to in probably about 8 months. I have found a lot of great things over the years at this store. I have found some designer stuff, including a Gucci dress I sold, a lot of vintage, just a lot of treasures overall. And it's been a long time since I've been here, so I'm excited to go and see what I can find today. If you missed day 1 of Thriftmas, be sure to check out that video because it was a lot of fun. On day 1, I went to New Orleans with my friends and fellow resellers, Alicia at Murray Life and Tanya at Double T's Treasures. There was a lot of silly antics, and we hit 3 thrift stores, 2 Goodwills, and Salvation Army on half off day. So that means 3 thrift hauls, and you get to see what it's like thrifting with fellow resellers. So definitely check out Thriftmas day 1 after you're done watching this video, and let's get to that thrift store. All right, so here we are going in the store. I'm super excited. And they do have colored tags that are discounted. Blue was 50% off and green 30% off. First up, I saw this rack of, I guess they were supposed to be fancy dresses. And so I did sift through those first because if you know me, you know that I love to sell dresses because I get a good return on the money that I invest to purchase it, but nothing on that rack interested me. Then I headed over to shoes. They have a pretty large shoe section in this store. Sometimes the prices can be a little goofy and outrageous, and sometimes they can be really great. So I'm just looking and I spot this brand I've sold before. This is La Artiste, and they're sort of like artsy shoes. They're comfort shoes. They're usually all leather. They had those marked at $12.99. They can sell for a lot, but I just figured I'd look up the comps on them. Then I found these Stuart Weitzman shoes. The bottoms looked pretty good. I mean, a little bit of discoloration on the leather, but overall pretty good. They had it marked at 10, so again, I thought I'd look them up. Oh, bah humbug. I had to flip it over. We needed a little positivity. Maybe it would bring me some luck too. Then I am going to just kind of head through hard goods. Sometimes I can find some vintage stuff in hard goods, either for my own collection or to resell. It can be hit or miss. The store used to have a lot more, and I'm sure it's like this with most thrift stores in the country. You used to be able to find tons of treasures at the thrift store, and it's just not that great anymore. I did pick up another pair of shoes that you can kind of see in the cart there. And then I'm going to head over to denim. As I said, my favorite sections of the thrift store for resale is going to be shoes, dresses, denim, and blazers. So those are my 4 sections that I always hit when I hit the thrift stores. And then I'll kind of sprinkle in some other sections if I don't find anything or if I have more time. But if you can see, I'm kind of just panning the store. It's huge. I mean, it's a big, big store. So I'm going to go through the denim. I did show you guys these. This is the new White House Black Market label. I used to pick up this brand all the time, but not so much anymore. It just doesn't sell. But here I am showing you all the jeans. There's literally like 3 racks of jeans. They're huge and they're double-sided. So jeans on both sides. And I did go through every single pair and look. No jeans in my buggy. Boo. Then I headed over to skirts. I saw this adorable vintage skirt in this big plaid. It is by the vintage brand Russ. Russ actually used to make trolls, believe it or not, but it is a wool skirt. Didn't look like it had any moth holes. They had it for $5.49. I debated, but it was a really teeny tiny size, so I did end up leaving it. Then I headed over to dresses, just like the denim. The dress section goes on, and there's like 4 or 5 racks of dresses. So I did make my way through the dresses because I do love selling dresses. I do have to say at this point, I was a little bit disappointed in the selection. I wasn't finding a lot. This is a vintage Betsy Johnson dress. It's really cool with this applique of flowers, but they did have it for $14.49, and Yeah, I just didn't think that was worth the pickup. So I just kept sifting. I will find a couple of vintage treasures that I ended up being so excited about. So at least it was worth it in the end. I'll show you a haul once I'm done going through all these, but a lot of these formal dresses I really like to look at because you may end up paying $10, $12 for them because they're a little fancier, but you can sell them for 50, 70, $100 sometimes depending on the brand. So yeah, I'm always looking at formals. So I stopped to show you guys this dress. It's 100% silk, fully beaded, and it's by the vintage brand Lawrence Kazar. If you see this brand, it can be a really great pickup. Unfortunately, they had it marked at $39.99, and even at half off, it wasn't worth the pickup, but definitely keep your eye out for that vintage brand. I once found a Lawrence Kazar new with tags, dead stock, which dead stock just means it's vintage but new with tags. Silk, 100% beaded, Y2K top, y'all. It was amazing. I'll pop up a picture so you can see what it looked like. It was certainly a showstopper. Then I finally found a treasure, y'all. This is a 1960s Dynasty dress. It is $8.69, and I was like, heck yeah, 100% silk. I'll talk more about it in the haul, but oh my gosh, I was so excited. Finally, something to write home about. And now let's talk about comps. I found these Lucky Brand sandals, but y'all, they had them for $10, and the comps were somewhere between 20 and 25, maybe 30. So yeah, definitely passed on those. Now I'm going to talk about the L'Artiste. I know I'm picking up the Stuart Weitzman, but let's talk about comps on these art to wear L'Artiste or L'Artiste shoes. Sometimes these styles can sell for $100, but this style just did not have the comps to match paying $12. It just wouldn't have made sense. I wouldn't have made a much money on them, so I did go ahead and leave them. And I'm just checking out the condition of the Stuart Weitzmans and deciding if I want to pay $10 for those. But again, I'll show you the comps on those in a minute. But first, let me show you the other vintage dress I found. Holy cow. This may be one of my favorite 60s dresses I've ever found. It has a giant bow. It's by the vintage brand Jerry Laurie. They had it for $8.69. Sheer sleeves, 100% silk overlay, and it had this watercolor floral abstract print all over it. Oh my gosh. And then here's that stunning Dynasty dress. It was made in Hong Kong under the British Royal Crown, 1960s, 100% silk. It has a frog closure. They had it for $8.69, so there was no doubt that she was coming home with me. Then I found this BCBG Max Azria cape jacket. It was for $7.69. I don't always pick up this brand, but this cape style is very, very in right now. And comps on this jacket were $85 used. So that was a definite yes. All right, so on to the Stuart Weitzman. I looked up comps on these. They were all over the place, y'all. Some sold for 20, some sold for 60, some sold for 90. And that is not new with box, that is used. So I kind of had to go with my gut, and I decided I was going to go ahead and pick them up for $10. I think that I can get at least 50 for them. So yeah, I did grab them. And then I went somewhere surprising. I went to the DVD section, someplace I never go, but I found a sealed copy of a Wes Anderson movie. I'm a big Wes Anderson fan, so I got that for myself. And then my dog recently ate one of my DVDs from my Pearl Harbor box set, so I did buy this to replace that. I'm also a big fan of Hans Zimmer, who's the composer. And that's just the shot of me in the store. Then I found this cool Sunbeam ice cream maker. It was $8.99. I really considered it. Comps were about 50 on eBay, but I didn't want to ship that sucker. And now I'm looking at more hard goods. I do like to go through this section for myself, but I found something to resell, surprisingly. This adorable soup mug made in Japan with these cute little ducks all over it. They were $1.99 each. Apparently they were made in the late 70s, early 80s, so I grabbed those for resale. And then I'm always looking for kidney or boomerang shaped pottery. That's just something I like to collect. This was vintage, but it did have a crack in it. It probably was handmade, so I did put it back. And then I found this really cool vintage mug. This would have been cool for resale. It was a music box also, but unfortunately the music box Had seen better days and didn't work anymore. It was only $1.99, but I did leave it. Okay, a little bit of story time and some behind the scenes. So I set my camera up on a shelf so I could film myself. I could take some photos for my thumbnail for YouTube and for social media stuff. And so I'm walking by, and there's a lady who's going to come by in a minute. And she saw me go to grab my phone, and she actually ends up accusing me of stealing the phone. She's like, "Is that somebody's phone? Did you just take somebody's phone?" And I was like, "No, ma'am, it's my phone." And she just looked at me, like gave me this dirty look, like I wasn't telling her the truth. And the craziest part is, like, for the next 20 minutes, she pretty much walked back and forth past me and was trying to figure out, I guess, if I was telling her the truth and if I had stole somebody's phone. Meanwhile, I'm trying to take these goofy pictures of myself. So it was just overall just an awkward situation. So after that, I headed to Shoes to return the ones I wasn't getting, and I found Uggs.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, some girl just walked by and told me she loved my outfit too, so that redeemed the whole situation with the stalker lady. I did pick up those Uggs, and then I wanted to show you guys these Sasha London shoes. I really like this brand. They have cute styles, but they sit forever, so I just don't pick them up anymore. And then I found these rainbow checkered Vans. I love Vans, and I've been wanting these rainbow ones, but I want to find them secondhand. Fortunately, these were a men's size 10, and look at that, no women's size on it, but I can tell you they wouldn't fit. Then I saw this bag. This reminded me of the Furla candy bag, if you've ever seen that. It was really weird. You had to use these like zipper thingies to like keep it closed. Anyway, it was a no-name brand, so I did go ahead and leave it. I was hoping when I saw it that it was going to be a Furla, because I sold that bag for like $125. Then I found this Draper James tote. I've actually sold this exact same one for $25. It is new with tags. The one I sold was new with tags, so I figured it was probably a safe bet because the thrift store had it marked at $3.99, half off. And that's my shopping trip to the America's Thrift Store. I hope you enjoyed Thriftmas Day 2. Come back tomorrow for Day 3 and all the rest of the days of Thriftmas. And we'll head out with a beautiful sunset over the bridge back into Biloxi. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like it and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye, y'all.